This dream took place June 19, 2012, and I called Horse Reflections and Beezle and the Devil's Children. Two horses are pulling me on a raft in a tunnel that is filled with black water, and even though it looks like a sewer system, which is tall enough to fit a 3-story building, it is a tunnel used for travel. The way in which the horses are moving is not how horses move in reality. They are galloping, but not in the way in which we know horses gallop. In my dream, when a horse gallops, they aren't moving their legs. The horse's energy creates a force that pulls them forward through the water in the tunnel. There's a monster chasing us. What it looks like I don't know, but I sense its presence, and it is getting closer. I realize in order to escape this beast, the raft needs to go faster, and the only way to move faster is to get the horses to revert to their original state. Meaning, the way they look now is not the way that they have always looked. The horses currently have features that are wrinkled, worn, and tired, and they also have flat faces, not normal elongated horse faces. Their faces have not always been flat, but were flattened during the course of their life. How, I don't know. I know this is all confusing, and it's about to get more confusing, and I apologize. But don't blame me, blame the bitch deep inside my mind who thinks it's funny as hell to drive me bonkers with the cuckoo-mungo shit. So, the only way I can remind the horses of their original appearance is to show them a reflection of themselves in a mirror. However, I have to trick them. I have to manipulate their reflection so that they see their old self looking back at them. And in doing so, they will think that this is how they currently look and will change naturally to reflect that image of who they used to be. And how this makes the raft go faster, I don't know, but it does. So I have pictures of them before when they had normal elongated horse faces, not the flattened ones they have now. So I pull a trick on the horses. I impose the old picture onto the mirror and hold it up to the first horse's face. The second horse realizes what I'm doing and wants to see the pictures I have, so I show him. As I hand them to him, he turns into a man to examine the pictures. Then he turns to the first horse, laughs as he's comparing the picture to the horse, and says, "This looks nothing like you now." And the first horse says, "Let me see that," and laughs in agreement. They then revert back to looking like horses, this time refreshed and renewed with normal horse faces, like in their old pictures. In that moment, they were laughing. The monster was right behind us, but we sped up after they changed, and we get away just before it grabs the raft. So what does this all mean? There's definitely some meaning to that whole mess, and I normally don't explain what I think my dreams mean, but this one was just really confusing, and it just seemed like there was some symbolism there. So my interpretation of the moment of that is that if I'm feeling like I'm losing at life, which happens often, then I need to remember times in the past in which I was strong and accomplished great things, like how I practiced my ass off 6 hours a day in high school to play Division I basketball, which many people told me was impossible. They told me that a lot growing up, and I didn't. I just knew I was going to play Division I basketball, and I just worked my ass off, and I did. So basically, if I had the strength to do something like that in the past, I can definitely do it today. So as writers, that's something we need to remember. Because the road to just finishing a story you're satisfied with is difficult, which I'm still trying to do. So just try to remember times when you didn't give up and achieve something you wanted in the past. So that's what I took from that dream. So next in that sequence of dreams at night, I'm at an outdoor venue that has a pavilion and a stage, but I'm standing out in the grass with thousands of other people. It's a dance party. People are jumping up and down with their glow sticks as a DJ and band plays some type of techno music. There's a singer with a large afro who is wearing a long blue sequin dress and has blue ribbons hanging from her hair. Her voice is monotonous and she's mumbling, and I think how god-awful her singing is. Also, I do not have glow sticks nor am I dancing. So as everyone is jumping up and down, I'm preoccupied with finding someone or something. And I apologize, I don't know what I was looking for or what happened. Like many dreams, they either transition into another dream, or I think it might just be I just don't remember. And really that wasn't that much there. So next, the third part of this dream, I'm with a group of people who have been recruited to complete a number of tasks at various locations. It feels like I'm competing in some type of game or scavenger hunt, and I've never seen these people in reality. The dream starts with us dropping into the attic of a decrepit old Victorian house. We leave the attic to work our way down to the first floor. After climbing down from the attic, we are on the first landing at the top of the stairs, and there are several doors around us. So basically, just picture any scary movie you have seen that takes place in an old haunted house. And of course, first thing in my mind is the Shrieking Shack from Harry Potter. So picture that. So someone in our group opens one of the doors. In the middle of the room, there's a rocking chair, which is occupied, and we only see the back of the person's head as their back is to us. One of the other members slams the door shut and looks angrily at the person who opened it. We start to make our way down the first flight of stairs. Everything is covered in cobwebs. The walls, the wood floors, the ceiling, everything's gray. The wood of the banister is very dark, and it's covered. It doesn't look like dust. It looks like chalk dust, because it's very white, like they'd use it at a crime scene, maybe. So, on the second landing, we find a fireplace which has been closed off. There's a name engraved above the fireplace, Beezle Nib, 2 separate words. And we don't know what this means, so we walk down the last flight of stairs, turn right, and end up in a sitting room. The walls are covered in wallpaper of white and gray stripes, and there's a red cushion chase with gold legs covered in dust, and that room also has a fireplace with a mantle. So as we stand there trying to figure out what we are supposed to be doing, we start to sense there's something else there with us. We hear a high-pitched yelp and turn around. Someone from our group is gone, and in the tracks on the floor, it looks like something dragged him away. So we all go back to back to back to back, so nothing can sneak up on us, and we don't have to wait long for the something to appear. These 3 imps come bouncing into the room and land on top of the mantle of the fireplace, staring at us in amusement with devilish grins. They have long tapered ears that jut out from the sides of their heads, and they have fair-skinned with wrinkled, naked bodies. And they're tiny, like little goblin-shaped sizes. They laugh and mock us, then introduce themselves, and all their names start with Beezle. I don't remember what the second part of their name was, but they all began with Beezle, and Beelzebub is another name for the devil, so I'm assuming it might be his children, some relation, I don't know. So one of us asked about the name someone in our group asked about the name on the fireplace at the second landing, Beezle Nib, and the imps cower at the mention of the name. And so someone asked again, who is this Beezle Nib? And their eyes grow wide as they shake in fear. The imps are pretty much in shock, so we walk over to the fireplace on the second landing and contemplate why they are so afraid of Beezle Nib. As we stand there, a woman comes down the stairs. She banishes the 3 imps with a wave of her hand, then turns to us with a soft, caring expression. There's something sinister in her face, though, that makes me feel uncomfortable in my dream, even though she looks very kind. So she says she will give us luck on the rest of our journey and holds out a basket with what looks like croutons. So someone takes a piece and eats it, then everyone else does the same. She gives us another basket, then walks back up the stairs. So we're supposed to eat these croutons and we'll have luck. I don't know. Much magic croutons. The leader of our group takes a bite of one, then places the other half. He eats half of one and then places the other half on a small bookcase on the landing. We look at him wondering why he's doing this when eating the croutons is supposed to help us ensure our success. He explains, we don't want to be bound to her. We cannot eat every piece in its entirety. So we understand this explanation and do as he says as we start to formulate a plan on what we're going to do next. So that was it. And these dreams I had that night back in summer of 2012 were very much different from each other. And usually my dreams have something connecting them, even if it's just the mood or tone or theme. And it just makes me think about not only why we dream what we dream, but how the subconscious arranges these images and the reasoning behind presenting them. Is our subconscious addressing several issues in one night, or are these dreams somehow connected pieces of some larger puzzle? And of course, there is a theory that dreams don't mean anything and are just neurons firing off at random, and I personally don't believe that. Because I think there is a purpose to our dreams, because too often I do find meaning in them, whether it's just a feeling they invoke or a clear, concrete message.